Hello everyone, welcome back. In Ahsoka Episode 6, Grand Admiral Thrawn and Sabine Wren finally face off in a confrontation that builds on their Star Wars Rebels past. Grand Admiral Thrawn, who was initially developed in the Star Wars Legends timeline, transitioned into canon in Star Wars Rebels. Thrawn is now more significant than ever because to Ahsoka's plan to make him the main antagonist in a future film set in this period of the Star Wars universe. In Ahsoka Episode 6, Morgan Elsbeth successfully navigates the road to Paradia, making her search for Thrawn a success. Given that her people, the Night Sisters, are from Paradia and that she has reportedly been having visions from surviving Night Sisters who reside there, it appears that Morgan was especially suited to finding her way to Thrawn. Morgan is not alone. Thrawn, who has never seen Baylan Skoll but is familiar with his name, is initially less than pleased to learn that Baylan has brought her prisoner. Sabine Wren is another well-known name to Thrawn. But what historical information our viewers need to know? Grand Admiral Thrawn was tasked with finding the Spectres, an early rebel group led by Hera Syndulla that was crucial to the developing rebel alliance. After Ahsoka Tano's apparent demise on Malachor, Thrawn was possibly their biggest adversary throughout the series, despite the fact that Hera and the other rebels' heroes frequently dispatched the majority of Imperial forces. Thrawn came dangerously close to wiping out the Spectres on Adolin and Lothal, but in the end, it was Ezra Bridger who dispatched the Grand Admiral's flagship into hyperspace, landing Thrawn and Ezra on Paradia, and who so vanquished him. One of the galaxy's most intellectual creatures, Grand Admiral Thrawn has been compared to Sherlock Holmes by his creator, renowned author Timothy Zahn. He is renowned for researching his enemies' artwork and cultures, discovering their history and learning about their species in order to forecast their tactics and take advantage of their vulnerabilities. Both in canon and in legends, Thrawn's strategies were incredibly effective, earning the Grand Admiral a reputation as one of the galaxy's top military strategists. The Spectres were particularly vulnerable to Thrawn's hallmark move. Sabine Wren is both a Mandalorian warrior and an artist. Her father, Ulrich, gave her the talent and the love for the latter. Sabine's artistic talent has been a defining characteristic of her since her debut in Rebels, when Wren painted a seized TIE fighter and left graffiti behind when targeting Imperial sites. Sadly, when the Grand Admiral was looking over Sabine's artwork in Rebels Seasons 3 and 4, Thrawn would find this to be all too convenient. In Rebels Season 4, Thrawn would plan Imperial assaults on the Mandalorians by ordering Tiber Saxon to use the Duchess, a Beskar targeting weapon that, ironically, Sabine herself had created, against the opposition. It's interesting to note that despite Thrawn's familiarity with Sabine, her artwork, and her tactics, there were no direct conflicts between the two in Rebels. Instead, Thrawn merely used her artwork to target both her and the other Spectres as a whole. But now that Thrawn and Sabine have actually met, it can be stated that their animosity is much more personal. The moment Thrawn and Sabine meet, the Grand Admiral is able to see right once how dedicated Sabine is to finding Ezra Bridger. This is evident even on her armor, which is decorated with a Purgil in Ezra's honor. But it's vital to remember that Thrawn would only comprehend Sabine on an intellectual level. His lack of emotional intelligence is one of his biggest shortcomings since he is very emotionally distant from other people and only sees them from an academic perspective. Though Thrawn can analyze and foresee Sabine and Ahsoka to some extent, genuine empathy eludes him. His supporters would do well to keep in mind that while he can conceptualize the connections of friendship as something to exploit, he will never actually experience them for himself. Should the necessity arise, Thrawn will have no trouble leaving any of them behind at Paradia. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.